We're agreeing to like standard battle assumptions.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
ESP, GA, um, White Mask Obito,
Okage Minato. Yeah.
yeah, Kage. I don't think it matters.
I mean, if you were gonna use KCM, it would. But yeah, sure.
I can go first. You can go first. I don't care. I would prefer if there
Uh,
was a chat that we could in skins that
do you
not
do,
everyone
do you have
has.
access to scans chat?
Yeah, that's the only chat.
Hold on, let me give you a member. One sec. There you go. You should have access to all the channels.
Okay. Since I'm recording, I'd appreciate it if skins chat.
Yeah. Okay.
That way, I don't have to blur out that racial skins.
Tywin, just lock it.
I'll lock the chat and delete the message. Yeah, I just said.
Okay. Go ahead, Center.
Go ahead.
No, I was Center to lock it.
I would prefer to go second.
Sure, that's fine.
Wait, how am I gonna lock it if these niggas are gonna use it?
I'll give Spencer mod for just this debate, or just not mod, like just hire perms and member. He can.
Bro, just edit the permissions to the chat. This isn't difficult.
Okay,
Bro, Candace. They didn't all learn Discord and White thing. We had like super complex terms every.
Yeah, just for Jade to get in the server every weekend. Come on,
hey,
bro.
that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, Piano, give us a chance, bro. We haven't been on Discord for 8 years.
It's not difficult. If you're gonna edit the permissions and make them not talk, you didn't think you could edit.
Give us a chance, bro. We haven't been on Discord for 8 years, bro.
All right. Literally, all you have to do, the member role, everybody has it, right? Take the member role, make it unable to talk. Click us specifically and allow us. It's genuinely not that hard. I think it's like 6 clicks.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I know you can do it. I gave you perms.
Oh, I didn't know I had perms. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Tom, you have ownership, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I don't need to do anything to you. There.
Cool. So, anyways, I'll just go ahead. So, you're fine with white mask being over yellow mask?
Yellow mask?
Yeah.
I mean, whenever it comes to stats, I would think of the possibility of having 9 tails.
I'm just including like yellow mask in himself, not including the summon.
Including, yeah, I think.
Yeah, sure. And then yellow mask scales to Minato.
I disagree with that.
So they just like both of them are able to like react to each other at multiple.
Yeah, whenever Minato's not performing his top. So what's really fascinating about final attack of that is that after Minato teleports, doesn't just kind of touch Obito with the Rasengan, he completely splits him with the turn and slam. So I know this seems sped up. That's hard. It's hard to see here, but it's genuinely not. This is the speed at which the anime shows, which is Obito is continuing to move in slow motion, where Minato slams that. I mean, I can show a clip, but it's just.
I prefer just like sticking to the manga, but
I mean, yeah, I can find it in the manga. I just think this is an excellent depiction. Since it doesn't part, I thought it was second.
Yeah. What my
so are you agreeing that anime that doesn't depart or contradict the manga is a great secondary source? You saying yeah? So we.
Do you think that if there was any like, you would agree that there are certain contradictions, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that there are contradictions. Me and Six are actually talking about one last night, where it's basically impossible for you to put together the animes rendition of the with
Yeah.
with the timeline and or with any timeline obviously gets the X played.
Yeah.
Because he would have been exiled from the village for the X played with crabs. He assigned 7. Like, of course, I believe contradiction in anime,
Hmm.
even within itself. But I think that whenever you're talking about the like, whenever you have a secondary source such as anime, if there's a moment where we can find clarity, it's in no way contradictory. I don't see.
Okay, my whole thing is if there are certain contradictions, obviously not everything's gonna be a contradiction. There are some stuff that's like, let's say, better depicted in the anime, but that's
Yeah.
just because it has a better way or better access to depicting it just because it's animated, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm saying
Whenever
that.
you
Yeah.
get better feeling of speed and fluidity in anime than in a
Right.
manga, and obviously it can fill in those spots. Which this is a perfect example of us being. We're
Yeah,
talking about the depiction.
I'm fine with you like posting like instead from the anime in order to like extrapolate an argument, but I'd rather not have you use this as supplementary justification. That's what I'm saying.
We
Like
both
it,
agree that Minato like blitzes him with the Rasengan in the manga. We're just talking
I
about
don't
how
think that's a
hard it's
blitz
split.
though.
So
That's my thing.
Obito's Kamui, which
Hmm.
is stated to actually be able to activate passively in the database. But I'm not going to try and.
I have that.
All right.
Yeah, no.
So it's stated to be able to activate passively, right? Even
Hmm.
though it's stated to be able to activate passively, which would mean he doesn't need to pay attention to it, right? So it would be something
Uh-huh.
beyond his reaction. Um,
Do you think the passive activation's always been a thing?
I don't see evidences to the other.
Because the
I take
data
the
book
statement at
specifically
face.
lists white
I
mask.
I take the statement at face value. I don't dive any.
The data book
Is there
statement like
evidence
just
as to
shows
why
white.
it's changed?
Yeah, the
Okay.
context.
How does context provide evidence as to why it's changed?
Okay. If there's like so this would also tie back into the whole relativity thing I mentioned earlier, but essentially if like the white mask version of the character is listed and that's the one um that is written beside the whole passive thingy, we can argue over whether yellow mask is included in the statement as well, but just for what we are like what we know of for certain, all we know for certain right now is that white mask is included in the statement. Yellow mask we don't know.
So what we know is that the ability is covered by the. So it's diving into Kamui, right? Not into White Mask Obito's. That specification isn't given. It's just diving into Kamui as an ability. If you have evidence
uh
that the ability changes as the power level or as time goes on, right? I'd love to see it. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that the ability doesn't have some drastic change whenever Obito hits puberty or is old enough.
could
I
change
think
because you
that's
know.
I think that's completely unfounded, and I'm not going to address an unfounded.
Okay, I don't think it's unfounded, but do you aware how
I
Kakashi is
think I just
unable to do
showed as to
certain
how it's
things?
unfounded. If you'd
Wait,
like
hold on.
evidence, if you want to show me that it's founded, I'd love to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that.
Okay.
You're aware how Kakashi is unable to do certain things Obito can?
I mean, they have different eyes.
No,
Their eyes
they're
have
the
different
MS
ability.
properties are the same.
They're literally not. Kakashi's is long range, and Obito's is short range. Kakashi's is active. Obito's is stated to be passive.
No, the active passive is what I was gonna get into as like a difference in skill. But the long range short range, do you not think that could just be dependent on how the user uses it?
Can you show me evidence that Obito can use his Kamui long range, or that Kakashi
What?
can use his Kamui short range?
You brought that up as a defeater, no?
You're trying to say or insinuate, right, that that's a different in use style. So I'd like evidence that they can use the opposite style.
No, I'm just giving you my interpretation of
Okay,
why this
so
could be
so
the
that's
case.
not an interpretation. It's an unfounded possibility that I'm not going to address. I don't have time.
I don't think you can dismiss it if both our possibilities are equally likely now.
Find it.
Because
Okay,
you're
so
saying
so you there's the baseline assumption of what we see. Kakashi uses long range combo. Obito uses short range combo. Whenever either of them get both of the eyes, they then show the ability to use the other's version of combo. Those things are true.
Wait, can you repeat the
Do you
last
agree
bit
with
again?
that? Whenever
Wait,
either Kakashi or Obito gets the other's eye, they are shown the ability to use the opposing side of combo. Do you agree with
do you have an
DMS
example?
Obito can use short range Kamui. DMS Kakashi can use short range Kamui. DMS Obito can use long range Kamui.
Okay.
You agree with those phrases to be true, right?
Not. I mean, do you not think that Obito can use Kamui like close range at all? I mean, long range at all?
I've seen no evidence of it.
Yeah, but like, I don't think the functionality changes. Like, what is this like contingent on? Like, why is the function changing depending on the user?
You're trying to push the burden of proof on me. You've given this
Yeah,
unfounded possibility. I'm telling you, my basis for my stance is that I have absolutely no evidence to believe anything other than what I see.
Okay, so you're just saying your base is just like your observations and what you've observed, right?
Yeah, my observations are all that I'm making claims. If you want to make a claim outside of our observation, I would like to see a foundation for the claim.
Yeah, hold on, give me 1 second. I'll just get you an example if I can find any. But even if I can, right?
I can literally tell you that they do not use the other side of combo.
The other side of Kamui. What do you mean by that?
So Kakashi doesn't use short range Kamui without DMS. Obito does not use long range. You're welcome to go look for it.
Short range.
You're welcome to look for it, but I have never seen it.
Yeah, I'm giving you an instance. Against Pain.
So what I'm talking about by short range is using it upon himself as Obito.
Like using
and
it on your body?
What I'm talking about by long range is using it away from oneself, like Kakashi.
So, do you mean in close quarters or do you mean on your physical body?
I'm talking about on your physical body, as Obito does. Where he either slips his body into the Kamui dimension, or like slips parts of his body, right, becoming intangible, or sucks himself in.
Yeah, I just think the reason Obito can't do or like doesn't do that is because that's just not how he fights. We see him like let's say absorbing.
So do you have evidence that Obito can?
Can what?
Can use Kamui away from himself.
Can use Kamui away from himself?
As Kakashi does, yes.
Let me see. No, but that could just because he doesn't like fighting in that way.
I'm not asking you. Yeah. I'm not asking you, does he do it? I'm asking you, do you have evidence that he can? Those are two different burdens of proof. I think I've justified as to why one is.
Spencer, I'm not saying that the other one can or cannot be done. All I'm saying is there's a reason Obito does it this way and Kakashi doesn't, right? That's not because the properties are inherently different. That's just because that's how they can do it.
So that portion of your claim makes the burden of proof reasonable. When you are saying, when you claim definitively that Obito doesn't use Kamui, not because he doesn't have access to it, but because he prefers this fighting style, you then have the burden of proof to show that Obito has the ability to do this.
Sure, that's fine. I don't think this matters much anyways, because Obito wasn't using DMS against Minato.
I agree.
Okay, so
you were using this as some sort of way, because you were trying to say that the properties of Kamui are the same between the two eyes, and that was going to somehow win you that Obito's Kamui progresses over time. Once you fail to prove that the properties of Kamui are the same between the two eyes, you then lose the point that Kamui goes from active to passive.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying now is like, even if that's the case and the MS doesn't progress in that way, I'll just drop that. I'm just gonna say like the passive could be an inherent ability of the MS, not the three Tomoe.
What relevance does that have?
Okay, so Obito, you can't scale Minato over passive Obito if Obito isn't in his MS, right? Which could be the point in time where he has the
Okay.
passive ability.
Okay. So you're saying that
Yeah.
it's exclusive to the EMF, right?
Based off what we can see, yeah.
All right. Can I see evidence of that?
Sure. So
You know that's
that,
an
like,
impossible claim to.
no, I'll just make the claim off of the Minato and Obito scaling to each other normally.
Okay, so that's a circular argument.
Why?
We're talking about whether or not Minato and Obito scale to each other. My
Yeah.
defeater is the Rasengan, right?
Uh-huh.
Your counter to that is the idea that Obito may not have been passive in this moment. And then your evidence to Obito may or may not have been passive is the fact that they're relevant. That is a
No.
circular argument.
Not really, because if I'm telling you,
I
right?
literally just showed you how it goes in a circle.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know.
don't say
I'm
that.
explaining why that doesn't
So
work.
don't say why. So don't say, oh, that's not really a circular argument. Tell me as to why my representation of your argument. That's what you need to do to win this.
Yeah, sure. I'm just telling you that I'm not saying in this moment that, okay, just because they are relative, that's why the Kamui isn't passive. I'm saying there's instances where, because according to you, right, this is Minato going at top speed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and that this is going under presupposition that prior he wasn't at top speed, correct?
He shows better feats here, and therefore I dictate that it's his top speed.
So top speed with flying Raijin specifically?
Flying Raijin is just a form of teleportation. What I'm dictating to be his top speed is him slamming the Rasengan into Obito's back when Obito seemed on a somewhat near level to.
Let me check some. Do you have the wait, let me look at the scan of Obito getting hit by it.
I can post the spread prior as well.
Yeah. Go ahead. You're aware that Minato says like this whole thing is just contingent on like a split second?
He says, this is going to be over for one of us in an instant.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's what he says.
That's exactly what he says. I just read it off of his.
Okay.
All my skins are his. All my skins are. If you want chapter numbers,
no, that's fine.
Page numbers, I'll give them.
That's fine. Yeah, he said this is all going to be over for one of us. Okay. This is like he says this in his head, right? He doesn't like say it out loud, right?
Yes.
Okay. So he believes like either of them, like either of their victories would be contingent on like a split second or like 1 second.
That's not what he says. So there's a difference between the winner of this battle will be judged in one instant, or this is all going to be over for one of us, right? So
yeah.
one of them, the one that you're trying to say that this is similar to, right? Would mean that there is an equal possibility, or victor will be based on who moves the split second faster.
Mm-hmm.
What Minato is saying is the losing party will lose in an instant. Those are not the same thing. Those are not the same thing. Because if the losing party loses by one swift, decisive attack, that doesn't mean that whoever was a hair faster wins. Because yours, it implies some sort of questioning, right? While Minato just makes a statement that is ambiguous.
Okay.
And then we know what he means by that statement because he had already made his plan. He throws one kunai down, right? Throws one kunai forward. He knows it will go through Obito's head. He prepares the Rasengan. And then the moment Obito touches him, Obito thinks I win, and Minato is gone immediately once he gets slammed in the back.
Okay. Just one last thing. Because I'm fine with that, I guess. But what do you think the passive stuff is like contingent on?
What do I think it's contingent on? I think it's contingent on your evidence.
No. I mean, like, how do you think the passive thing works? Like, what do you think triggers it?
Um, Kamui's ability to react. It's
Yes.
passive, right? Um, this is just speculative. Based on what we know of the scan, right? I would appreciate if you could post it because I'm not even gonna look. Um,
Which one?
the Kamui passive.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you want me to post it?
Yes, I would appreciate it because my understanding of the scan, or lack thereof, informs my speculation.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
So I would appreciate if it was posted so I can make it thorough.
Um. There you go. Unless this is not the one you're looking for.
Now I see why you didn't post it earlier. The right eye unconsciously makes a body part slip by transferring it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Unconsciously, meaning without consciousness or without conscious. So
Yeah.
it doesn't need Obito's conscious thought. It would just be based on feeling your instinct, right? And you do know that humans, on average, their senses will perceive things, relay that to
Yeah.
their brain before there's a conscious.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Like hair trigger reactions, things like that. Um, and so it would just be marginally faster than its ability to react thoughtfully, and so it would be similar to if he reacted intentionally, but obviously it's instinctive. So
Okay. Do you not think this is then like this is does dependent on what his eye perceives? So even if he himself isn't doing this task, just his perception would help him like,
yeah,
react.
through his six senses, yeah, chakra
Makes sense.
perception, touch, taste, smell, hearing.
Okay. If Minato is not completely like not in his line of sight, then do you not think he'd have like no way of actually observing or understanding what Minato's about to do?
In chakra perception. A large orb
Chakra
of chakra is
perception?
moved from in front of him to on.
Um, do you think you just like sense it in that way? Like I know like sensory ninja can. Do you think everyone can?
Every ninja has some level of chakra sense. It's actually how they
Yeah, I think.
teach them to.
Yeah, but do you think some level then big like how skilled does it have to be in order to like recognize like it transported from like one point to another within like an instant?
That.
Yeah, I was saying like, do you not think if there's levels to how well you can sense it, it take a lot more skill to actually detect it going from point X to point Y in an instant?
So like
Okay,
I'm actually not I'm not trying to like sandbag. Have your
no,
same
that's fine.
argument a million times.
I'll explain it. Okay. You agree that there's like levels to how well you can sense it, right?
How well you can sense chakra, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually
So
it's
do Mhm.
usually higher level sensory ninja are known for their ability to sense like through walls or sense long distances or sense certain chakra quality or amount.
Okay.
So that's what sensory ninja are known to be able to do that is outside of like the regular. If you need
Yeah.
evidence of that, I can find it, I guess. Um, but it's like sensory ninja are the only one that are able to sense like different chakras within the same person, such as Owl sensing them inside of I almost said like um Gonzo, or the fact that Karin can sense for miles, able to notice when Sasuke's chakra is extinguished,
Yeah.
or
Sure.
or being
No,
able
I'm
to
fine with
sense
that.
Karin or Sasuke's chakra changing in quality. Not like it's improving, but so these are the things that we know make Sensory Ninja impressive, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
the rest of it we would just kind of see as baseline. Sensing where chakra is, especially in incredibly close relation to itself. Not to mention the fact that Sengon is not a quiet.
Okay.
The movement of the chakra is actually quite loud. I think it was was it Swag versus Noodles or fucking Swag versus Parrot? You play that loud ass sound cue of like the receipt on me form.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sure. I'm fine with all that. Yeah, I'll concede.
See the debate?
Yeah. Sure.
West again, you